Hey guys, Truth Waves here. So I made a video previous to this, and it was just a short, and it was just really going over what's been, going on these past couple of days. And within that video, I had mentioned, uh, or essentially referenced something that had happened or occurred in my life, and it all, in a way, got brought up again because of my brother. And the events that took place, are from the past, of course. Um, but it was just strange. It's like God was speaking through my brother to reach me, to remind me that, hey, there's more. There's more. It may not seem like there's more, but there's more. And I've been really downtrodden, you know, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I did not, lose all of my faith, cuz I ain't going to lie, I was getting close, and like I'm like, "Nah, that's nope, that's evil right there. I need to stray away from that." Like, what was it? I probably said something like that maybe like 10 videos ago, where it's like I was crying and I was like, "Look, my faith is wavering. I don't want to be like this. Like this is bad. This hurts. This hurts, you know?" And and I meant that. I meant that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not, But either way, God was speaking through my brother and just, reminding me of things. And what my brother reminded me of, or what God reminded me of in that, is that I went through a lot, and the way that I reacted was not the best. So I'm gonna give y'all some backstory, okay? And another thing too is I am not the best storyteller, okay? At all, whatsoever. Just get that out there. Um, so I came back from deployment. I was in the Marine Corps, and it was it was during 2021. Okay, this was during the COVID era, type esque bull crap, whatever. All right. So this was during COVID. Deployment sucked. I hated deployment. I, for the most part, was just part of ship's tax. So in the Marine Corps, and then just like in, I guess ship life, so to speak, and even with the Navy, is that you have to do your share. Everybody does their share on ship, unless you're an E7 or an officer, then you don't have to do anything. Um, it is what it is. There's a whole. I could go into a rabbit hole explaining that, but just trust me on this one. If you're an E7 and above or an officer, don't even have to worry about it. So, being a lance corporal as I was on ship's tax, hated my life, and I didn't do my job. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I really didn't do anything while I was on ship, um, except work in, the ship's galley. I worked in, so essentially their kitchen area. I worked in the library, so that was a pretty nice one. And then I'm pretty sure I worked in the laundry room. I forget though. I don't think I did. Maybe I did for a little bit, but not for a long time. So that's what I did for pretty much half the deployment. And the sucky thing is, we didn't do much. I was on the big ship. I was on big ship. All right, and that was the LHD-7, which is a landing helicopter deck or something like that. And I did not have a good time. This was, now mind you, I also still carry a mindset that's kind of different than other people. I'd always like ponder and question things and, you know, just look at things a certain way and like challenge. Um, and that whole time being on ship, I was questioning things about myself, questioning who I was, how I was, and why I was. And things that I had dreamt of, things that I had seen, things that I knew already. Just everything was just like, why? Why? And for me, myself, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, because part of me was scared. I was scared that someone would get hurt while I was on deployment. And I know, man, that's crazy. Ooh, I'm realizing things now that are even more wild, that are inexplainable at this moment, um, that have just been like unlocked. Um, I prayed every day when I was out there, and I prayed out of selfishness. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't want anybody to get hurt. I didn't. I didn't want to see anyone, leave. If you know what I mean. And I didn't want to do anything that would hurt anyone else. You know. And this was like my walk with God growing in that direction, so to speak. There's a lot more that I could talk about, and maybe I'll get to it at one point in my life, or maybe later on. Who knows? Um, but with being on deployment and not going to too many places, and it being during COVID, and me hating my life being on ship's tax, I didn't have an opportunity to do my job, and that's where this comes in. I was a data technician, one of the smarter guys in the Marine Corps, and I'm not saying that everyone in the Marine Corps is stupid. I'm just, it's like one of those higher ASVAB, you know, echelons, so to speak. Um, so yeah, I didn't do my job, and part of that, within that realm, was my superior, my boss, um, and she was of a different, job specialty, but still in the same arcing branch of just general electronics maintenance. And she never talked to me, too much, and it saddened me. It saddened me a lot. Um, and I remember so vividly, like everyone. And I'm not gonna lie, towards the end, I was a little salty too, and I talked shit, But then I'd tell myself, no, why are you doing this? This is wrong. A lot of people would talk shit about her. A lot of people. And I remember one day I went up to her and I even brought it up to her. I was like, hey, like, there's a lot of people saying not nice things about you, right? And she's like, yeah, I know. I know. And I was like, if you know, then, like, how do you deal with it? She's like, well, I keep on going. I want to help people. And that's what I admired most out of her, is her willingness to help people, even though even though before her it was wild, even though before her, I in a way was suffering, and she didn't talk to me, and I don't know why. It could be multiple different reasons. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tearing up just thinking about it, because it's like just the powerful emotions that she held, and just the mannerisms, the care, and in a way, like that's even more so why I was so hurt, is that, like, I never felt that directed towards me, and I could see it directed towards other people, and I'm like, wow, that's admirable. But again, besides the point, let's fast forward a little bit. All right, so quick to make it quick. All right, so we ended up going over near Portugal and France and the UK area. Okay, and then we got called down. This is the whole ship. All right, and this isn't just this ship. There's a couple. There's maybe a couple other ships. I don't know. So we get called out. All right, and this is probably like maybe like March time frame to go to the Mediterranean. So we're like, oh, dope. We're gonna get to go to Italy. We're gonna get to go to Spain. We get to go to Greece, Egypt, Israel, blah blah blah. Now that was awesome. Got to go to Spain. Got to go to Greece. I didn't like Israel. And that whole time I was just struggling mentally. Struggling hard. And it felt like I had nobody. Having me some Pop Tart. So you're probably wondering, damn. I just thought about that. Man, you guys would probably hear the Pop Tart, like the crunching, because the headphones are right here. And, like, you know, oh, man. Whatever. Whatever. I'll just finish it after I finish the video. So, fast forward. All right. During 2021, this was a hard pressing time for America. Not too pressing, but still pressing. There was a conflict that's still going on in Afghanistan, and this was during the pullout of Afghanistan. We ended up in the Middle East, and a lot of the people that were on ship got off ship, and I was one that was not let off ship. I was told I wasn't needed, and this was by the higher up. I'll never forget. Never forget. I got pulled in the office, E7. I forget his name. It might have been Gunnery Sergeant Sellers or Gunnery Sergeant. Uh, yeah, it might have been Gunny Sellers. I don't think it was. No, it was Gunny Thompson. There we go. Yep, Gunnery Sergeant Thompson. Let's go. Woo! Yep. Man, that's wild. I'm sorry. But I love those guys, you know. I mean, they're a lot older than me, but you know, I respect them. Gunnery Sergeant Thompson, he pulls me in. He's like, "Hey, Soto, unfortunately, we don't need you, man. So you're not going to be getting off ship. I know you haven't been off ship this whole time. I'm sorry. Um, it's just a logistical error." And he felt bad. He truly did, because I was the only one that didn't go and do any exercise. I didn't do anything at all. I didn't do any Marine shit. I was literally, I might as well have just been admin. I might as well have just been admin. I'll put it that way. Nothing against admin. Nothing against admin, but just saying. So, with that being said, I didn't get off ship. My superior did. And the last time I saw my superior was me going to grab my laundry. And she was coming up the stairs. And I'll never forget, you know, there was the P-way. You know, it's called the passageway. And you know, I just, you know, I see her, and she's all smiling, and she's right there, and what was it? Um, trying to trying to recall. Um, it was my cousin. He was walking in. Yeah, so she was right there. Um, and she looks at me and she's like, "Hey, sorry, Soto. I know you're not gonna get off ship, and I know you've been wanting to get off ship." And um, I look at her and I say, just be safe out there, And that was it. That was it. That was the last thing. That was the last thing. And it got to me. It got to me just now. Yeah. So, whoo, moving forward, um, there was other events that took place. I'm gonna leave that out. My superior that passed away, the one that I cared for, the one that I did love, not like that, but just in general, um, was Sergeant Nicole G. And I'm telling you, like that affected me. Like it just did. I came back from deployment. I was different. Um, I was drinking all the time. I cut off people from my life, and I was getting in fights, and I was doing stupid stuff. And all my Marine buddies can recall that for sure. And I did what I could. I did what I could. I was doing stupid stuff. Hmm. It was a hard time in my life, and yeah. And then I I ended up in a relationship that I thought was gonna be okay. And truth be told, I always wanted a family. Like that's something that was like for some reason ingrained on my mind. Because like I wanted to have people around me that could like be like, "Yo, I got you," but like not just like I got you like lukewarm. I'm talking like, hey, David, like David and Goliath, I got you. Like hold my sackcloth, guys. Let me throw this rock. I got you guys type. And um there was this young woman that was a family friend, and I knew her brother growing up, and we hit it off. And what was it? Um, we ended up, being engaged, and I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. She kept accusing me of being a cheater and accusing me of doing this, doing that. And the one thing I will admit, I was an alcoholic, and I did, get really drunk all the time, and I apologize for that. And I know where I fell short. And another thing that got me was the fact that she didn't like me going to church. She didn't like me um, reading the Bible or any of that. You know, and she may recall different. That's on her. No, no disrespect. I'm just recalling from what I know. And with that, you know, I ended the relationship. Come to find out later on, she was allegedly. I say allegedly because I'll never know the truth, the whole truth, because I'm not God. I didn't see nothing with my eyes, but uh, she was around, if you know what I mean. And it messed me up hard, hard. And not the fact that she was around, but she was around when we were together. Um, but that happened. Now I forgot to mention one thing. Boop, boop. rewind just a little bit. All right. So while I was with her and while I was back home in the States, I just had a strong unction to go to this one church. And I'm like, man, why am I going to go to this church? I don't go to church. This is crazy. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go to this church. And I'm just crying the whole time. I'm driving over there. I'm driving. I'm crying. And I get there. And, I go inside. And I'm like, hey, is this, am I in the right place? Because I accidentally went in on this old Sunday school class. And they look at me and they're like, oh, no, 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 no. You're in the right place. And I walk out before they could say anything. And then, they sent the, youngest old person to go grab me. And he's like, hey, son, it's okay. You could come in here. And they're like, here, this is what we're talking about. And they were reading about Noah. Or no, not Noah. They were reading about Jonah and the whale. Or the great fish, so to speak. So, I'll never forget that. They were talking about that. And the whole time I was bawling my eyes out. Bawling my eyes out. I didn't know why. I didn't know why I was there. And that happened. And not just that. I walked in there after their Sunday school class. The main, room. And the chorus was just singing beautifully. And just, I could feel the whole room it was just this unexplainable joy. And a month later, or a couple months later, flash forward, got baptized, boom bada boom. Obviously it's not boom bada boom, but that's the feeling with it, it's like, whoo, feeling fresh, you know what I mean? So you move forward, that happened, and then everything went down with my ex. Not this previous ex, but that was the previous ex. So this is 2 exes ago. So that happened. And then I'll never forget. It was February. I think it was February 5th or February 3rd of 2023. All right. I had hung out with some of my buddies that I went on deployment with. And I was tired. I was mad. I was frustrated. My ex, she messaged me saying all this type of things, and it got to my head. I'm like, man, how am I really this bad of a person? Am I really this bad? Did I really do all these things that she said? Accusing me of hurting her, accusing me of this, and this. And it just blew my mind, Because growing up, I always had the mindset of, nah, I'm gonna please the woman I'm with. I'm going to make sure she's taken care of. I'm going to make sure she's okay. I made that mistake. I won't ever do that. No, I won't say I won't ever do it again. But I'll definitely say I'm definitely not going to spend as much money. Nowhere near. And which I didn't. And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole if I continue talking like this. But either way, it happened the way it did. And I was drunk, and I just started talking shit to everyone, and just talking shit, just the normal thing. And I remember, and here's the thing, I only remember a couple things. The biggest thing I remember is 4 guys holding me back, and then I end up in the shower or on the floor in the bathroom, in the barracks room, with a bottle of vodka in my hand. It might have been a handle or a fifth. And I'm just laying there, staring at the door. And this is what I thought I heard. And maybe it's true. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Because I was drunk, All I could hear was just chatter. Just everyone talking shit about me. And I was like, man, this is fucking wild. This is insane. this is insane. How could this be? You know, this woman that I thought I was gonna be married to, and these people that I would have died for on deployment with, or saying bad things about me. And at that moment, I was done. I grabbed my bottle. I grabbed my other bottles. I grabbed my other stuff. I ran to my car. I threw my shit in my car. And I put on some Lil Peep. And I floored it. I floored it. I was in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, French Creek Barracks. Yep, FC 504, FC 507. Yep, right by that PX. If anyone ever sees this, I'm telling you, I was there. The speed limit was 20 miles an hour. And I just go zooming down that street. Zooming down that street. I get up to about 130 or 120. I forget which one. But as soon as I get up to that exact, like, that range, boom. You know that corner right there? Right where the light is? Yeah. Yeah, I was headed straight for one of those trees. I would have hopped the curb and flew into one of the trees. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So, as you're aware of, you know, what I just told you, at that moment in my life, I was done. I wanted to die, and I chose that. I said, you know what? I hate being here. I don't like this world. I'm gonna kill myself. And so I went. And as I went, there was a flash of light. And some may believe me, some may not. Either way, this is my story, and I'm finally sharing it openly. Openly to all. To whoever shall see this. And I've been refraining from it, you know? And I don't know why. I really don't. But that's besides the point. I want to share it with you guys because you know what? God's put it in my heart to show the world his love and his compassion and the truth behind it all. And with that being said, God showed compassion and love for me that day. Even when I was done. Because I'm still here. You may not believe me, but it happened. I saw a good friend of mine when there was that flash of light. When the flash of light occurred, I wasn't in my vehicle. Everything was golden. Just unexplainable joy. Just this magnitude of just awesomeness that you would never be able to get from anything here on this planet. Here on Earth. Anything. And I see him, Evan Tanner. I'll never forget him. A great young man who passed away from his own afflictions, if you know what I mean. Me and him were friends in high school. And I saw him. And he looks at me, and I'm crying. I'm bawling my eyes out, mind you. Just bawling my eyes out. And he looks at me, and he's like, hey, you got more work to do. And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why am I here? And he's like, God's got more for you to do. You're not done yet. And I'm like, why? Why me? Why me? Literally just bawling my eyes out, screaming, why me? And he just tells me, you know, God is with you. There's more to do. And he gives me a hug. And I'm still crying. I'm like, don't go. Please don't go. And he lets go of me. And I came to, and I was in the parking lot of the French Creek Barracks, FC 504 and FC 507, in the corner, and my car was on, There was no lights. The car was fine. I was fine. I turned off the car. I hopped out. I started bawling my eyes out, screaming, crying. I called everybody I could. And I'll never forget, there was a few different people that helped me. There was Franzen that day. There was Stefan, Sergeant Stefan, I believe. Yeah. And then there was two corporals. No, one corporal and then one lance corporal that was there on duty that day. And they helped me. They really did. And not even just that, just everyone following that story. Tanner Hoke, great Marine, great individual. Cody McGrath, and then a whole bunch of other people that have helped me along my way. And you know, maybe I shouldn't be sharing some of these names. So I'll keep their stories to themselves. But just know that there's a lot of people that have helped me along my way. And when that happened that day, something in me changed. And it's this. I still want to die. Every single waking moment, knowingly that I'm here, I wish I wasn't. But that's not reality. I'm here. I have to be here. And the reason why I have to be here is because of God. God said, "Whoa, buddy, no, don't kill yourself. You're here for a reason. I love you, and I have compassion towards you. And I hear you. I care for you." And God did that out of love, out of care, out of everything. The thing that changed. Whoa. I'm still out here. Whew. It kind of scared me. I ain't even gonna lie. Thought it was like something coming after me type shit. But what I want got me off track. What I was gonna say is that I have a fear of what would happen if I did kill myself, of God preventing it, or me being sent to hell. That's how I feel. That's the only reason I don't do it. It's not that it's like, oh, it's a bad thing already. Oh, it's not because you have friends and family that love you and care about you. It's not that. Because, I mean, in my personal opinion, I was already ready for that. Ain't nobody gonna hold me back to that. But God is. God is now. God's like, no. And I'm like, but why? And God's like, hey man, there's way more. And some days I may not be as grateful. Because I know that it hurts and it sucks and it's painful. And it's just a struggle, a huge struggle. But I keep pushing because of that. I keep pushing because I know that God is with me and that there's more. I know that there's more. Even though sometimes I may come across as someone who is not of faith, someone that is perceived as monstrous, someone that is perceived as ill-knowing or mal character, so to speak. Trust me, I've gone through a good bit, and it's all accredited towards God. So when I say trust me, don't put your trust fully in me, but look towards God. Because if God can sit there and save me and sit there and be like, hey, don't die, and still be with me as I grow and still show me that there's more, then there can be more for you too. Whoever you are that's out there. I just wanted to share this with the world so that they know that they're not alone. You're not alone. We're not alone. Like, what was it? Off topic. But earlier, me and my cousin were talking, and he asked me what I would do. What would be my number one thing if I had a bucket list? And I told him, I was like, my number one thing on my bucket list would be gathering everybody I know, ever knew, ever met in one place and just loving on them. Just hugging them, just saying, hey, I love you. I love you. You know, like I genuinely would. Because I'm telling you, ah, man, I know the pain. I know the pain. It may not seem like I don't know the pain, but I get it. I get it. And I'm still going to go through more. That's the thing that's wild. Oh, man. Woo. But God is good. I just wanted to share that story with you guys. And I just wanted to let y'all know that I love you, but most importantly, Jesus Christ loves you. And I pray that, just you'll find God in your time, and God will work through you in many wonders. Amen. So, with that being said, stay true, stay blessed. Amen.